great culture.
You're live.
Ready? We're live?
Yeah. Welcome to the THC Show, everybody.
Started playing some drastically hip, and I was like, yeah, I gotta start my video now.
You have the right to do or not do whatever you want to do or don't want to do without any government coercion or prohibition until you interfere with somebody else. If you don't stand up for it, they'll continue to take it away from us. Your children will be a lot less free than we are, and we'll be a lot less free.
4:20, my alarm didn't go off. What happened?
But you were ready to spiel, I couldn't interrupt.
I was waiting for that thing to go. I was kind of keeping my eye on it, you know? All right. Welcome to the THC Show, everybody.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the THC Show. My name is Glenn Wells, and this is where, with truth about cannabis, we hope to affect change. How the hell are you doing, everyone? It's sure nice to see you today. So our guests today, if you can guess by the picture, are the makers of the Dewbie. Yeah, it's not the Dewbie that you smoke, but this is a Dewbie. This is a product that is rehydrates your cannabis for you. So, good morning from Melbourne, Australia. Good morning, Rafi. So, Josh will be on. He is the owner. I just see him coming in the background there. Him and his, I believe, sister-in-law created the product. But they'll come on and tell us the story anyways. So I've got a couple of announcements to make. We are going to be doing a memorial, first-year memorial for Neil Magnuson, May 26th, Thornton Park. Just get together and have a smoke. I'm going to do some videos. I want to do some videos with you guys of your favorite moment with Neil or what Neil meant to you. And then the following day, we will put it on the show, about a half an hour worth of video. So I'm just making that announcement now. May 26th, Thornton Park, 4 o'clock. So we can be there at 4:20 then. Thornton Park was one of Neil's favorite parks to do protests and stuff like that. So I figured it was most appropriate to do it there. Plus, he was helping the people on the Downtown Eastside. So this would make it easier for a lot of those people to attend his memorial also, instead of having it out here in Mission. But if you do want to go and say hi to him, because I know Sean went there today from the Mission CSB, he is at Hatzick Cemetery close to the crematorium. So you can just look for him there. So, and go say hi and smoke a joint with him. That's what Sean did today. We're here supporting the CSPs. Hello, Nadine. We got the East Coast, Mission, Newton, Langley, Surrey, all out there saving people's lives with cannabis, because we know that cannabis saves lives. All right, so I'm going to do another Braving Healing video. This one is about 10 minutes. This is about Indigenous childhood sexual abuse, because we know that there are a lot of Indigenous people. I live in Mission, so we're all out here. I got some Eastern Ontario suing me, so I think that this one is very important. And the reason that we're doing this, because I am part of these videos, this documentary. I'm not part of this one, but as you will see, as you have seen, I do pop up here and there, and there's a whole hour coming out, which I'll do on the show in 20-minute sections 3 times. They're just finishing the rough copy of that one. So this is Christy's story, and it's about childhood sexual abuse, and cannabis has helped me with that through the PTSD and stuff like that. And I'm sure that if this has happened to you and you've not spoke to anybody about it, then maybe you should, because it really did help. All right, so let's see. Here it is here, and we'll see you guys in a few minutes.
I'll tell you a story about when I was in high school, and this is kind of how it works. We're hanging about with a bunch of people. And I remember this one guy who I was friends with, and they were all teasing, you get these little couples when you're younger, and they're like, oh, you too, blah, blah, blah. And I remember sitting in the room when he looked at her and said, I can't date her. I couldn't take her home. And I looked over at him, and I just sat there quietly listening. And he said, I was always taught those kind are good to have fun with, but they're not something you take home to your family. The amount of comments like that throughout the years that you get, the belittling, the sexualization of Indigenous females. My mother and myself were kidnapped as a young child from a man who was a church-going man. Everybody believed that he was this great person. When my grandparents and my family and neighboring court workers called the police to report us missing and said that they suspected he had us because there was previous incidences where he was stalking me at the school. He'd had guys stalking me. Multiple things had already happened. So my family pretty much knew who had taken us. They called him on the phone to ask if he had seen us. Oh, Anna must have forgot to tell everybody she was taking Christy on vacation to Buffalo, New York. My mom worked. She never booked the day off, nothing. But because she was an Indigenous female, we just went on a vacation without telling anybody. It was on day 9 that a new officer on the case decided that they should go to his house and question him instead of calling him. And found us. My mother was a security guard at the courthouse when this happened. And I look at that. My grandmother was a court worker. My mom was a security guard at that time. And if it can happen to my family, that happens continually. Over and over and over. Out west, you go there, you get off the Greyhound bus, you have bulletin boards like this. It's nothing but Indigenous children and women missing. I'm from an Indigenous tribe here in Canada that's actually an American tribal nation. We had bought land here in Canada. We're landowners. But when they erected Indian Act of Canada, any Indigenous person in Canada at that time fell under Indian Act of Canada. Doesn't matter where you came from. They were taking children as young as 3 years old away from their families. And then they wouldn't be released until they were legal adults. They spent all that time being taught to be, quote unquote, good little Catholic Christian children. That was the whole point of it. Haudenosaunee and Inuit children were the first ones placed in Mohawk Institute, which is the first ever erected residential school in Canada. Every school across Canada and the US was modeled off of that school. My first Canadian-born family member was taken to that school, all the way down. We have a family member on the death rolls there. A lot of people think it's hundreds of years ago. And in some communities, residential schools are still running to this day. There are still laws in place that state that people in education can put their hands on our children. And of course, our parents don't know what to do because they were raised in this system. The system that they were nothing better than just somebody's kicking horse, work mule, conforming to their Christian and Catholic values, erasing everything that these people knew. For 150,000 children, how do you make restitution when nobody wants to even talk about it in a room? I know children who, from the age of 12 to 17, have been 20-something foster homes. abusive home after abusive home after abusive home. But see, that's the problem, is when they report it, they're the problem. I was scared to death to call the police when my son was sexually abused. Because I knew of all the ways they were going to try and make it my fault as an Indigenous mother. Because that's exactly what I seen them do to my mother. Because when we were first found, she went through 5 days of interrogation. My mom left that silenced. It was almost like a rule in our home. We never spoke about it. It took forever for my younger brother to even know that this had happened. And so when you see that intergenerational trauma head on, knowing what I've seen my mother go through, looking on this side and there's my mother, and then looking at this side and there's my son. And the damage that had just been repeatedly happened. And again, my family is just one. And honestly, nothing really different or special about it, considering you could probably get 20,000 of me sitting here. My community alone is a community that doesn't have water. There's a community next to us that doesn't have a school. We're 25 minutes out of a city center. So imagine the impact of trauma on top of just trying to survive every day here because of the Indian Act of Canada. Because we didn't conform. But now we have so many people that are lost. And perpetuating these abuses, because when you're taken from 3 years old to adulthood and that's all you know, how do you change that? How do you know any different? So a lot of our sexual abuse survivors, especially when it comes from the church, the government, Child Welfare Act, all of that still feel like there's nothing in the world we can do that's going to wake Canada up to listen. A lot of Indigenous females are pretty, they're the matriarchs of the family. But the problem is they carry so much trauma that they've never been allowed to appropriately deal with, be able to stand in a safe space and actually speak their truth. So a lot of it is they have to be these strong people. And in turn, that's what they teach their children. But the problem with that is silence isn't getting us anywhere. Because these patterns are just repeating and repeating and repeating. And we are on a new generation of aunties and uncles that can stand up and can use our voices. Nothing like Canada's ever seen before. We know how important it is for our children to feel loved and supported, feel human, and let them know that, for all these years, there's been this whole system. But now we're going to use our voice to take it back, to remind these people that our children, our families, are beautiful. And they're not second class. And our children aren't second class. And that Indigenous families have the right to their own healing in the ways that they know truly heal our children and families. And that's through language, that's through ceremonies. Those are the connections. My part with Survivors Council is always bringing the Indigenous voice to the table for all the families, for all the children, for all the survivors, and just reminding people, I got a ton of them behind me. And every one of them has a right to sit at this table. And I'm hoping with showing the youth things like that. You know what? I'm hoping in a couple of years, we're going to be doing Survivor Council things. We're going to have a bunch of Indigenous people sitting there, sharing their voice, sharing ideas. But there has to be people like me who barge in, be loud, and make that space first.
And we're back. Yeah. We all deserve the right to sit at that table. If you have been sexually abused as a child, then I hope that these videos help you speak up and start talking about it. I went through 18 years of psychiatric help. I'm now done. I still have PTSD. It's not just for that part of my life. I get PTSD for all traumatic things that have happened in my life. So, and once you have PTSD, I don't think it ever goes away. But I learned to deal with it and stuff like that. Magic mushrooms helped and stuff. So, I hope that these videos will help you. Like I said, I'm actually part of these videos. I went to Toronto to do this. They flew me there and everything. And there's a whole hour of documentary coming up very soon. They're just, like I said, they're just finishing the rough copy. I've already okayed my part of the documentary and stuff like that. So, and there's another short coming out. We'll probably have that out next week, hopefully. So, and I love sharing it with you guys because it's very important. If it helps one person today to speak up about what happened to them, then that's great. And if this maybe helps a family member or something speak out about it that they haven't been able to, that's also fantastic. So, that's what we want to do. All right, so it's 4:17. We got a couple of more minutes, and it'll be 3 more minutes, and it'll be 4:20. The CSP are all running good today. The CSP Vancouver was closed because they are doing some street work there, and they didn't get the van out of there in time, so it got towed. So tomorrow morning, I will be going back down to Vancouver to get the RV out of the impound once again. That thing loves being in the impound. I don't know. It's like it has a second home there. So anyways, that's what happened. If you guys are wondering what happened, we will be open again tomorrow. Dan just went out there and it was already on the hook and they wouldn't let it down. And yeah, so it was pretty sad that we lost out on a day's business today. And like I said, the memorial for Neil, first year memorial, will be at Thornton Park, May 26th at 4 o'clock. Hopefully the weather will be nice. It'll be nice and sunny for us. I would like to have maybe a picture of Neil and maybe a picture of his gravesite or something like that there too. If you guys feel like making a donation to any of the CSPs, Cannabis Substitution Programs, on behalf of Neil, you'll be able to do that there that day too. So yeah, come on down. Just share your favorite moment about Neil with me, or what Neil meant to you, or how he influenced you in his life, and we will throw that on the show the following day on May the 27th. So May the 26th is the marks 1 year of his passing. So all right, it's coming up to 4:19. It is 4:19 because the watch says so. All right, we're gonna bring in Josh. I'm gonna have a little sip here. And like I said, Josh and his, I do believe his sister or sister-in-law, were the ones who invented this Dewbie thing. I don't know if they were stoned when they did it, but let's find out. Good afternoon, Josh.
How you doing, Glenn? Good to see you again.
Good to see you too. I've known you for a while now, haven't I?
Been a few years, I think. Yeah, if the pot memory serves me right.
Yeah, we first met at the art gallery. You were on the side of the road there, in the backside. Yeah.
Yes, so sir. Yes, sir.
How's life today?
Oh, it's been another day in paradise out here on Vancouver Island.
Oh, that's good. I want to say that Dewbie will now be available at cheapdabs.co. They just ordered 100 of them today, so they will be on there soon. Will let you know that, yeah, cheapdabs.co. It's not .com. They had a problem. So I'm just letting you know that. So it's 420. So happy 420. Let's get stoned. I got some Northern Lights from Cheap Dabs here. What are you smoking, Josh?
I've got some homegrown something or another that I got off a friend of mine because I needed some dry weed to show you guys. So I think this is just purple kush.
So what they're doing over there on the island is a lot of homegrown.
yeah. I try and support as locally as I can.
Well, buy local, right? That's what they say. No tariffs on that stuff.
No, to say the least.
Oh yeah. All right. Now I just dropped my shatter. Isn't that great? Oh well, we'll put another piece on. We'll find it later because we're live, and I'm not going to go looking on the floor for it. All right, cheers. All right, so tell us about the Dewbie.
All righty, yeah. I'd love to light one up with you, but I lit one beforehand, and I need to keep myself somewhat between the navigational beacons here.
You smoked before the show, Josh? Oh, my
I know.
God.
I broke the rules.
All right,
yeah, so I am the half of the Dewbie. My older sister is the other half. I am the one that manufactures these things. We are both part owners, but we together own the incorporated company as a whole. So it's just us. Yeah, we're an infinitely reusable cannabis rehydration stone. You've probably seen us around in a dispensary or two. That's what you'd be looking for, or at 420 or some of the other events. I'm going to crack this bad boy open. All we are, we're an infinitely reusable, 100% natural, handmade cannabis rehydration method. Yeah. So unlike our competition, we're a heck of a lot stronger and infinitely reusable. This bad boy is also a heck of a lot faster acting than the likes of the terracotta ones that are made by some larger companies, if you will. We're a lot harder. We're not made of terracotta. Won't say exactly what we are, but this is harvested in Alberta. And if you know a tiny bit about clay, it's really hard to find terracotta in Alberta. So we are 100% local, handmade in Canada, all handmade on the island, all Canadian products though, and owned.
Then that's what we're buying is buy Canadian right now anyways, right? So if it's all Canadian, made in Canada products, and that's awesome. That is awesome. Now, how did you come up with this idea? Were you guys stoned?
So this idea actually was cooked up by my father and I about 7 years ago. I turned 18 in Alberta, where legal smoking age is. I turned 18 shortly after cannabis legalization. And my father was always a pot advocate, but of course, growing up, he had 2 kids and had to keep himself in the line. So on my 18th birthday, we ran out to the dispensary and we're like, oh, let's try some of this legal stuff. And we were left coughing and hacking and going, this is dry and this is no good. And it's a problem as old as time. I mean, heck, the stuff I've got here, I left the jar open last night. It's all dried out, right? You know, a problem stoners have fought with forever. So
I've got your video. I'm going to show the video in a minute. I'm just doing some sharing so you can just keep talking there.
No worries. No worries. I can actually do
people how it works.
Yeah. So I'm going to do a live demonstration for you guys here. So I've
got. Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I've got just, obviously, this is just 2 grams-ish of dry pot in a jar. I've got a glass of water and my stone. Okay. So I'm going to do a glass of water, drop the stone in there for 2 minutes. So I've got, 424 exactly on the dot now. So we'll give it just 2 minutes in there. It'll soak up about a gram of water total. So even in a dry, so even in a dry ounce, you'll add a gram to your ounce. You get a free gram of water out of a dry ounce, or a free gram of weed out of a dry ounce, thanks to water.
But you can't smoke that free gram of water now, can you?
Well, I mean, it makes that ounce a lot more enjoyable to smoke, at least.
So all right. So okay, in your video, does it say it's like a 10-minute soak?
So we always say 5 to 10 minutes per gram. Now that's all going to depend on how big your jar is, how dry your pot is, and again down to personal preference, right? It's a beautiful thing.
I'm using a jar like this, and your product is in the bottom there somewhere.
Yeah,
it's in there somewhere. Yeah, so this works really well for that size. So I just leave it in there.
Yeah, and that's the beautiful thing. Like I tell people all the time, when my father and I cooked up this idea, we wanted something that worked immediately almost, right? We wanted 2 minutes in water type of deal, and then to keep it in under 10 minutes to rehydrate what you would need enough to roll a joint with, a gram-ish, right?
Yeah.
But obviously it's a tool. You can use this thing for a multitude of things. Heck, my grandmother has some in her brown sugar, you know, to keep her brown sugar, you know, from clumping up and doing all that. It's a tool, right? The only complaints I've ever had about the tool is sometimes it overhydrates your weed. If you leave it in with a gram for half an hour, you're going to pull it out and it's going to be pretty, it'll almost be a plant again. But do you blame the knife when you cut yourself?
No.
Yeah. So it's a beautiful little tool.
Yeah. Right.
So we're coming up on 2 minutes here. I'm just gonna pull this guy out, just dab it dry on my shirt because let's be honest, I am a tradesman at the end of the day, and this shirt isn't too nice. So got my little jar here. I'm just gonna dump it out and just put the Dewbie in the bottom. I find.
And you're gonna show us that it's really dry weed.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There we go.
Can you get it in the jar, Josh?
Yeah, that one is a little tight. I usually have a different jar, but you know what? The nice thing is it will always go in. So really dry weed here. Let me grab a. So you can see I'm just turning the stuff into dust, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like this is just wasted stuff. Here, I can show you on my plate here. Whoop.
Okay. All right. Yeah, we can see that.
So that's no bueno. I'm gonna put that guy in our jar there. So that's it in the jar with our Dewbie. And again, it's important to try and find something as airtight as you can, right?
Yeah, yeah.
That's gonna help you
a mason jar.
Yeah, mason jar, even like a Ziploc bag, as long as you get all the corners sealed up on it, you'll do just fine. And so I've got about 2 grams in there. It's pretty dry, so I'm gonna try and give it probably the full 10, if I can, maybe a little longer minutes, but I'm sure within 10. It's going to be a heck of a lot different and a lot nicer to smoke, right? Again, what I'd like to use it for is just small amounts, just so I can get my gram ready to go to roll to smoke. But again, like you use it in your whole jar, it's really no problem.
Yeah, I have also what are the spaghetti sauce jars? Prima or Presto, whatever. I use it in those too. They're great. It's a mason jar and a spaghetti sauce, so you get to have something to eat and keep the jar at the same time. So
reduce, reuse, recycle.
Yeah, I just put your link out there for the Devil's Lettuce shop. All right, I put it in the comments for everybody. So if you guys were interested in one of these, I put the comments, the link in the comments for you. So what do they sell for right now? Do you have them on your site for about $8?
Yeah, so we've got them on a little 420 promotion, and we decided to run it a little longer with this podcast for anyone listening to the podcast that wants in. Regular on our website, they're $10 a piece or 3 for $30. Right now, we're doing 3 for $20 and 1 for $8. That's shipping included anywhere in Canada or the U.S. Shipped right to your door, shipping included, taxes included. $8 or $20. That's all you're going to pay.
And that's just www.thedevilslettuceshop.com, right?
.com. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, let me just type that in there because it didn't show it. It's on my page too.
TheDevilsLettuceShop.com.
Yeah, Devil's Lettuce. Devil's Lettuce Shop, right?
Shop. Yeah.
Yeah. .com. All right.
And you can find us on Instagram at the Dewbie, Instagram, the Devil's Lettuce Shop, or if you just look up on Facebook, the Dewbie. Heck, even if you just Google Dewbie, Dewbie, we're the first one to pop up. So.
All right. Yeah, but we're a bunch of stoners, so it's probably spelling Dewbie the way it's Doobie.
Yeah, well, if the water droplet shape doesn't give it away, I'm sorry.
So you're telling me that you participate in cannabis. So why don't you tell the viewers why you use cannabis, how you use cannabis? Was it for an addiction or anything?
For sure. For me, I was very lucky when I, reached the legal age of drinking and smoking. My father pushed more the act of smoking rather than drinking. He allowed me and my friends to have a safe space in a really cool garage where we would turn wrenches all night and work on cars. And rather than drink beer and get fed up, we would smoke joints and actually get things done. And so in time, I really just came around to, if I'm going out one night, I'll smoke a joint over having a couple beers. It's just kind of something that's become more ingrained in me than anything, thanks to my father. Again, growing up, I never saw my parents really participating in any sort of substances or even booze or anything like that. Obviously, as I got older, found out my dad was, smoking the occasional joint at night and stuff. And that's how he kept the calm demeanor that was able to deal with 2 kids growing up and everything else. And again, was the hard worker that he was. So cannabis for me has always just been, being at a young age and stuff. I'm only 23. I know I don't look it, but it's a party scene, a party world I live in. And and so for me, I much rather participate in cannabis than the likes of booze or other heavier substances that get passed around quite a bit at different functions and things like that. Cannabis has just been my go-to for a half decent night, and every once in a while to take the edge off. I do suffer a bit from anxiety, had my bouts with depression and whatnot, and I've always kind of come back to cannabis. And a day on the water, I'm a huge fisherman, a day on the water and a joint, and I've righted my wrongs and righted my world again.
Have you ever lost a joint when you're reeling in a fish?
Oh, the fish bite better when you're smoking a joint. We call it the fish whistle.
I've never tried that.
Oh, if you think you're unlucky with fishing, you just haven't gotten high enough while you've been fishing, let me tell you.
Yeah. Do you spread a little crumbs in the water for the fish or something to attract them?
No, I guided a fly-in fishing lodge, and I kid you not, we've caught walleye on a roach of a joint before.
Really? Wow.
Not a word of a lie. No, these fish are really hungry, but I've caught some funny things, no doubt. And I will admit, a tiny bit of mushrooms has always helped with a really bad day of fishing.
Oh, yeah. Desiree's watching. She says, Canadian free shipping. We will help elsewhere. We will ship elsewhere for the same Canadian pricing plus shipping.
Yeah. We're really trying to support Canada. No matter how you voted this last election, I think we can all agree that it's time to buckle down and really try and push Canada as much as we can. We are the only Canadian rehydration option that I can find. The likes of the other stones are sourced out of Spain and then come through the US because of their distributors. And then the likes of the disposable options, those are all state-based options as well. We're the only all Canadian made, manufactured, owned, and operated company through and through. And of course, with the light of the political situation, I don't want to get into it. More than anything, I just want to say it's really important now than ever that to support, local Canadian business, right?
Yeah, and I like it because I've had mine for 3 years since I first met you. So you must have been like 20 years old when I first met you. And,
sir.
I can still use mine. Those other ones that are in a little brown package or something like that. After 30 days, they're dried out and you have to buy more. Like I haven't had to purchase another one of these doobies because it keeps lasting and lasting and lasting, right?
And that's the whole benefit of that, right? And these things are completely non-toxic. That's the beautiful thing. There's no added anything. You have nothing to worry about. I tell people, you drop it in the dirt or something, a little bit of soap and water, give it a good rinse, let it dry out, it'll be sterile again, right? So no worry with that. And that's the beauty of these things, right?
Oh, there's Tracy Call put up the right thing. It was the devil's lettuce. There you go. I'll leave that up there for a little bit so people will know where to get a hold of that product. Wow. So you don't want to tell anybody what it's made of, right?
I'm keeping that to myself.
All right.
But
do you
it's
actually
not
have that? Do you have it like what do they call that? A patent on it or something, or like no?
It's a naturally occurring product, just like cannabis is. There's no way to patent it.
Okay.
But I will say it's in the clay, and then the other half. So I am the manufacturer, right? So I'm the ceramicist and the kilnsman. And having had my bouts with my kiln is pushing 80 years old. I can tell you a lot of it's actually in the firing process.
Really?
How I can make these things porous without water just leaking out of them. That is really the kicker, is it comes a lot down to my firing process as well, right? And so that is the secret I guard with my life. But
that's the secret. Yeah, you've got it, right? Desiree says it's a family affair. thanks for the shout out from the beauty stepmom, Tracy.
Yeah. So Tracy's my full mother. My older sister Desiree is my half sister. We share
Thank you,
our
Tracy, for
father.
putting up the correct one. You know, when you're live and you're trying to listen to your guests, sometimes you don't get it right. So thank you very much, Tracy, for putting that up there.
Thanks, Mom.
Yeah, there you go. Is she in the house too, or where you are?
No, she's they're down in Mexico living the good life.
Oh, they're in Mexico. They're watching us from Mexico. We had our first comment was from Australia, so we're really getting around today.
Yeah. Let's see if we can check all the continents off. I think my girlfriend in the UK is actually listening as well right now. So.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Yeah, cannabis culture does reach a lot of people. Usually about 10,000 views a week. So that's not too bad. Hopefully, people will be sharing this and buying your product too. You got it on special for $8 right now. So so you said that you just started smoking when you were in the garage working on the engines. Like, were you only 20 then, or
I was 18. 18, you know, that's in Alberta
when I was 16.
Yeah. I'd had my bouts with it a few times in my before 18, but when I picked up, 18, everyone's going out to the bars and the clubs and all that. That's when the partying really kind of hits you. And for me, I much prefer to smoke a joint and turn wrenches in the garage than to go out and, party my life away.
Okay. Nadine says that she lives in the States. Well, that's okay, Nadine. They can still send it to you, right? Richard Middleton, he's in England. He's even watching. He's saying, hello, Glenn. See, yeah, we're getting around the world, Josh.
Right on.
I wonder if there's a tariff on Nadine's post there.
Yeah, we'll have to, but feel free to get out to us. We'll make sure that there's something.
Come on, the elephant's in the room. Come on. Yes, we ship to the U.S. There you go. I was going to ask you a question. Something about your cannabis journey. Oh yeah. What is your most favorite moment with cannabis and your Dewbie? Like, I know you go to a lot of events because I see you at the art gallery and stuff like that, right? So what would be your favorite moment?
Oh man, that's a really tough one.
Is it? Come on, you're only young. You're not 60 like me. Come on, not gonna be that tough.
Well, the Dewbie is a beautiful thing for me. I spend my summers working away at the Fly-In Lodge, and I travel my winters. Coming home for me means coming home for 420, getting to do that event and making more of these stones every spring. And with that comes getting to see my older sister, my brother-in-law, and my 3 nieces and nephews. So it's very much a family affair. And so it's always so heartwarming to get home to them. And 420, I think when I met you, 420 a few years ago there, that was definitely a highlight. That was kind of my first really big event. We had done a few smaller ones to try and warm ourselves up, and just the energy we got from 420 and the people that truly, like, they bought it with suspicion and reached out to us that evening. And despite how stoned they were, wanted to get the point across that they were blown away by how well it worked. It's something I hear all the time.
I'm blown away. I mean, here you are on the show again. Like we had you, we showed your rocks on the show with Neil, but now we're actually having you on the show. But yeah, even I'm blown away. Like I like it. It doesn't take the smell away from my weed. There's a lot of things that can be taken away with those brown packets. I don't want to say their name. I have nothing against them, but this is a much better product and a much more natural product too, right?
Yeah,
so it's just a bit of water, no chemicals, right?
Nothing to it. I've actually been sipping water out of the cup that I had this soaking in. So. Oh, really?
Hey, wow. See, they can even drink the damn water.
You can drink the damn water after, man. It leaches nothing.
Yeah, safer than an apple with pesticides, or a piece of bread or a potato or whatever else you're using. Yeah. And when you use those things, they leave a bit of a flavor. Like if you use an orange, you get a bit of an orange flavor, because I used to smoke tobacco, so I know, right? So yeah, and you don't want that on your cannabis and stuff like that. So
No, and with all the of course, bacteria flourishes on things, sugar-based or glucose-based things, right? Like oranges, like apples, you're just asking for mold problems.
Yeah, definitely. I've never seen any mold with these. You've had no problems that way?
No, sir. No, unless it's extremely overhydrated. But even then, it would take you'd have to have days and days of leaving a Dewbie in with a small amount of cannabis, I would imagine. But to be perfectly honest, I've yet to hear of a mold problem with these things. And we've sold on.
Well, that's good. That's good, right?
Yeah, and that's why I stand by this little rock, man. It's everyone I sell it to. I put my heart and soul into each one of these passes through my hands about 6 times before it reaches yours in production of making them, right? And each one I put my heart and soul into, and a little bit of love, and because I stand behind these things through and through.
Thornton Park with Afro Man, Mercules, and of course Neil. Oh, Desiree, you remember that?
Tyler.
That was one very rainy day. I bet you your Dewbies were just soaking up all that water.
They were great. We sold them and they were already ready to go.
Yeah. Did you get any to Afro Man?
I'll be honest, by the time Afro Man came on, I had consumed quite a bit of cannabis and was just trying to keep my sales pitch straight. So
I actually got to go in and meet Afro Man and was in his camper with him and gave him one of my special joints and stuff like that. So it would have been nice to have that with you and could have gave him one. That would have been great.
One of these days. I saw him live in Calgary a few years ago, and I threw a Dewbie up on stage. So maybe he got it, maybe he didn't, but one of these days I'll run into him.
A Dewbie that you smoke or a Dewbie that we're talking about?
Dewbie we're talking about, a rock.
Yeah, we gotta be clear here because it's Dewbie. We're dealing with people that smoke cannabis like me, so I could get confused, right?
Rock at him, but not in a bad way.
Yeah. So now let's talk about your sister. So what end of the job does she do? She does all the managing of the business and stuff like that. I know she sent me an email or was going to, but the kids got sick. Yeah. She's
my distributor. So she's the one that handles all the email stuff like that. When you're reaching out to buy one, she's the one you're talking to. Despite the kids getting sick, she runs funnier hours. She'll work a little later, but we always get things out in a very timely manner. And the beautiful thing is about having a couple of kids is she puts them to work packing stones in boxes and stuff like that. So, it's a family affair. This thing really is, right? My father has come back from Mexico to help us out many times. My grandmother lives down the road from my older sister and will come down if we get a big order to help piece it together. We really do aim for efficiency still with this. We might be a small company, but we're going to get it to you quickly regardless.
And how long does it take you to make one of these?
So I make them in batches of about 12 to 1,500, depending on how many joints I smoked before I packed the kiln.
Yeah. Did you say 12 to 1,500 at a time?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and so that's a few hours in the kiln, or is that a whole day in the kiln?
It'll take about anywhere between 15 and 18 hours to do a full load on the kiln. Start to finish, to make about 1,500, it takes about 6-7 days. But of course, by then I'm usually doing it at the rate. Like right now, we always keep, over on the plus side of at least 10,000 on hand. That way, if we ever get a huge order, we're ready to rock and roll. And even if you were to order all 10,000, by the time I got 10,000 to you, by the time the week shipping happened, I would have another few thousand ready to go. Once it kicks off, usually I'm firing every 5 days. So, I've made, what was that? In 1 month, I managed to pump out, it was 35,000.
Wow, really, eh? Wow.
So these things,
Are these available in government stores?
Some, yeah. So we, like in the lakes of Ontario and stuff like that, they're more easily accessible. I've been on the BC LDB, the BC cannabis one, for quite a while now, and really been trying to push them to go for our product. But again, they've just chosen to support the American companies over myself.
Really, eh? And the stores can't buy them from you separately?
So some can, and many do. I do sell to.
Yeah, because I would think that they would only have to buy cannabis from them. Anything else like a pipe or papers or anything else like that wouldn't be coming from the BCLC. Yeah.
So again, though, the BCLC does offer those options, and of course, what I look at it from the point, if you're a store manager of distribution and orders and things, ordering everything from your BC Liquor and Cannabis Board rather than having to go to each individual company, I understand maybe the ease of use of it. But yes, of course, any of these companies, we are not cannabis. So any British Columbia dispensary can come to us and order directly off of us, just as they're saying they would with papers or bongs or pipes or anything, not directly cannabis.
Your mom wants to know, how's the rehydration doing?
Oh yeah, we're about at that point, aren't we? All right, so obviously the same jar. Jeez, I took it off camera for a second.
Let's show mom how it's doing.
So I can't.
Oh, there we go. No more crumbles.
No more crumble. And here, I'll
on the plate. Yeah.
Yeah, like I've got here.
Nice.
I'll show you guys on the plate here. There we go. But like, it's just turning back into that tacky bud that I can't, still a
and
little
it's
bit
ready to roll and smoke, right?
Ready to roll and smoke. Again, this stuff was really dried out. I would have left it for another 5 minutes if it were me, but again, it's all up to you, right? Like lots of people, this is where they like it, where it's just.
Do you keep a jar of dry weed around just for demonstrations?
No, I had to dry this jar out. I actually had it sitting in the sun on this plate to dry it out because I don't.
I did dry it out for the show, did you?
But yeah, as you can see, like this stuff is just, it's totally changed its state. Your trichomes are back. It's not crunching anymore. This is what you want to smoke again, right?
And yeah, I love it. That's why I wanted to have you guys on the show. It was great to see you at 420. We brought back the crowds this year. Wasn't that amazing to see the crowds?
It was a wild year, and I mean, I always look forward to 420, and it's a highlight of my year every year.
We've had some small crowds the last couple of years, but this one was like old school days, and that was good to see that. It made the heart grow a little bit bigger that day. Well, we'll see you on July 1st, right?
July 1st, yeah. Well, my older sister for sure. Maybe not me, but my older sister. I'll be off in the Canadian woods using my Dewbie plenty.
So, I was going to ask you. So you come home, you make a bunch of these, and then she does it while you're working.
Exactly. Yes, sir. Yeah. She handles the distribution. So that's why this is how this works all so nicely is she's able to stay fast and efficient on distribution. And I'm able to make sure we've got enough in stock that I could have a couple dozen cannabis stores order 100 off me at a time and still be able to put that out.
And when the kids get old enough, you got a sales team.
Exactly. I like it.
Well, Josh, I thank you very much for being on the show. I love your product. It really works. I really hope that this video takes off. Let's just see what we're looking at right now. Let's see. Where are we at here? Right now we're sitting at I can't tell because I've got it separated. All right, just go to the cannabis culture page here and look here. We're sitting at 1,200 views already.
Ooh, there we go. Wow.
I know, right? Yeah, so it's definitely going to take off.
Right on.
Josh stocks my garage full and I ship them out, she says. All right.
All 1,200 of you could order right now, and we could send each of you right away one.
You'd have one ready for them, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, let me put the devil's lettuce up there again one more time. Let's see if I can find that from your mom there. There it is. There we go. And J Mac is saying hi. Jay, how you doing, J Mac? There you go. It's www.devilslettuceshop.com. Thank you, my friend. We will see you at the next event, or we will see Desiree at the next event. Thank you for being on the show. We'll have you back soon. Take care.
Thank you for everything. Bye-bye.
No problem. Bye-bye. All right. Okay, so there you go, everybody. This product is awesome. If you ever listen to somebody, listen to me, check out the Dewbie. There, just made a little poet thing. These things really do work. They really do work. So let's go and do Neil's memorial video, and then we'll be right back. So here we go. Oh, here, yeah, we'll do this one. Hold on. We'll do this first. We'll do the little video that he had sent me. I was going to show it to you guys. Here we go. All right. We're back here. Okay, there you go. There's a little video that I forgot to show up of Josh's. Okay, now let's go do Neil's memorial video. And like I said, we'll be doing this May 26th, Thornton Park. A good old smoke out for Neil. Come join us.
Oh, well. Welcome to the THC Show with Neil. THC stands for Truth, Hope, and Change, and we're going to hope to cover all the different latest news and stuff to do in the cannabis world, and do it in a way that gives you some hope and maybe provides some opportunity for change.
You guys want some free weed? Well, let's get this underway then.
You're live.
Ready? We're live?
You're
All
live.
right, hey. Welcome to the THC Show, everybody.
It looks like some pretty nice stuff here, Neil.
Oh, yeah. Have you seen the plants?
Yes, I just saw the plants. Beautiful.
Plants are awesome.
The laws against cannabis are very destructive, and they fly right in the face of what it means to be a Canadian and what it means to be in a free country. If you're not free to grow a plant and use a plant for your arthritis, pain, or to feel good or whatever you want, you're not free.
There is so much oppression of our great culture here. There's so much hypocrisy and corruption in this world we're living in. And we're still going to fight hard to get what we deserve. You deserve the right to do or not do whatever you want to do or don't want to do without any government coercion or prohibition until you interfere with somebody else. If you don't stand up for it, they'll continue to take it away from us. Your children will be a lot less free than we are, and we'll be a lot less free.
It's 4:20. My alarm didn't go off. What happened?
But you were ready to spiel. I couldn't interrupt.
I was waiting for that thing to go. I was kind of keeping my eye on it, you know? All right, well.
We really are making an impact in this community and offsetting the use of opioids. I thank everybody that's been involved and helped us get here, and we're really looking forward to another great year. I can't thank enough all the people that helped me do this. I thank you, the viewer, for watching. It's really been great to have you along. I hope that we're able to make a difference in your life and maybe make a difference in the world somewhere. And I want you all to have as much fun as you can changing the world. From myself, Neil Magnuson, Pot TV, and the THC Show, have as much fun as you can changing the world.
So I'm a bit of a patriot. I love my country. I hate my government. I'm scared shitless of those people. They are corrupt as could be, and they can make our lives miserable, but I love Canadians. So when it was time to help out with these pot rallies that I've been going to for 5 years, one of the first things that came to my mind is, well, we got to have a proper anthem. We need to have something that's thought-provoking, that's respectful, that's not stupid, that helps to teach people about what we're doing here. So I wrote my version of O Cannabis. So without any further ado, if you know the words, give me a hand. If you don't, that's fine. I'll sing them for you. O Cannabis.
Oh, cannabis, the sacred plant of peace. With healing powers, it helps our eyes to see. And with glowing joints, we make the point that the true north should be free. And with wise red eyes, we criticize the war against our family. God keep our staff from the police. Oh, cannabis, we stand here high and proud for this. Oh, cannabis, the sacred plant of peace. Thank you. Let's get you some marijuana.
Come on. What's going on? There we go. Peace, buddy. Miss you. And again, once again, Thornton Park, May 26th, 4 p.m. We're going to have a smoke out for Neil. It'll be the first year of his passing. So come join us. Bring some doobies. If you don't have any doobies, I'm sure somebody will share with you. But let's just get together and share our favorite moments of this great man. I miss him a lot. Next week's show, we have Cookie Monster Mike. I was there on Sunday and we did an interview with Mike. So this will be a previously recorded interview because Mike is not online or anything like that. So we went to a park and we did an interview. So join us next week for Cookie Monster Mike. He has made tens of thousands of his cookies and donated them to OPS programs and stuff like that. So yeah, come join us next week and you'll hear Mike's story and how Mike and Neil met and all that kind of stuff like that. So July 1st, Cannabis Day at the Art Gallery. We will be there again, and the CSP program will be there also too. So come join us for that. All right, everybody. It's about 2 minutes before the end of the show, so I'm just going to wrap it up now and say thank you very much to Josh. Thank you very much to Tracy. Thank you very much to Desiree. Thank you, everybody, for even coming in and watching. And I want to thank you to all the donators that keep this Cannabis Substitution Program running. And special shout out to Sean. He's been able to do some really good collection or donation. He's been getting really good donations. I shared his post into Mission, and they now know what he does, and it's been amazing results. So he even thanked me, and it was really nice for them. So without you donators, we would not be saving lives. So thank you, J Mac. All right, and I thank you, the viewer. Without you guys, we don't have a show. We got Carly Marley is back here on the Cannabis Culture page. And I do believe there's going to be some other shows coming up. So I do believe Carly Marley's show is on tomorrow. So check out the Cannabis Culture page for Carly Marley. She is definitely back. We're going to have her on the show, and they're going to be talking about fair cannabis. Also, that'll be probably the following week. And that's why I've asked her. I haven't had a response. So, yeah. Anyways, have a great day, everybody. Remember, go out and do something nice for someone today. They might just do something nice for someone else, and we'll have a much better world to live in. And as you just heard Neil say, have as much fun as you can changing the world. Go out, give a big hug to someone today, and tell them that you love them, because you never know when they'll be gone. Tomorrow is not guaranteed, is what I'm trying to say. Take care, everybody. Cheers. See you next week.